To begin with, I would just like to take a few minutes to introduce each and every presenter for today. So to start with, we have Jaap. He is the founder of Data Connected, the data network for professionals and organizations to share knowledge, work, and products. So he has been passionate about data for over 2 decades and has developed it in many different roles. As the responsible person for advice, lean, which is change, development, test, quality, delivery, and support for complex data environments within small companies as well as in large international corporates. He has always loved to create data and quality awareness at all levels, be it strategic, tactical, and or operational. And today, he is proud that together with Armando and Rogier, they have devised and developed the CDAT training curriculum to create greater quality worldwide, a dream come true. So Jaap is our first presenter for today. Coming to the second presenter, he is Mr. Rogier Ammerlaan. He is the founder of Ammerlaan Training and Advices. He is a consultant manager and a trainer in software testing, agile, business analysis, and data analytics. And he has more than 20 years of experience in the financial, banking, and technical automation industry, working for a number of Dutch and international companies. He is ISTQB qualified and specialized in test process improvement, which is TPI and TMM, and is developing complex test strategies. He is a certified ISTQB trainer for software testing, business analysis and requirements management, and specialized in the area of data migration and complex chain testing. Coming to our third presenter for today, his name is Armando Dorsek. Armando is the founder of Verified Testing Services, having more than 2 decades of experience in the field of software development, operations, and human development. He loves to focus on quality in data-centric projects. Next to first-hand experience in testing, data warehouse, and analytics projects, he aims to add knowledge about data privacy, ethics, migrations, design decisions, and agile working to the game. He acts as test consultant and quality manager in large-scale projects, providing knowledge, strategies, and insights to program managers and to both tech and business colleagues, both locally in Netherlands but also in international programs, including offshore collaborations. Each month, he clears his diary for a few days to provide courses on data and analytics testing. But last but not least, we have Kyle Alexander Siemens. Kyle is the CEO of Brightest. He is energetic and loyal and hardworking Canadian from Winnipeg. After completing his bachelor's degree at the University of Manitoba in Germany in German literature and mathematics, he moved to Berlin in 2006 with a DAAD scholarship and got his master's in communication and languages. After working several years at various agencies, both for campaigns for national and international brands, he stumbled upon an incredible path which led him to where he is today, the CEO of a global exam provider called Brightest. So this was a brief introduction of all our four presenters for today. So over the next one and a half or so, our presenters will address topics to utilize embedded structure testing in order to reach and improve the quality goals in your work with the focus on data and analytics environments. In this webinar, the authors will give you more insight in the background and the content of the Certified Data and Analytics Tester certification program. So without further ado, I would like to hand it over to Jaap. Jaap, please go ahead. Thank you.
Hello, Jaap. Thank you, Prasanna, for this great introduction. And hello, everybody. Thank you for the opportunities to speak at this webinar, of course. And thank you for you all being here online. Don't hesitate to ask questions, like Prasanna said, but do they by chat, and we will come to that after the presentation in our Q&A session. So I will give you a short introduction about the background. Our idea is originated, and a brief introduction about it, of course. Well, as you probably know, often is mentioned or even shouted that data is the new gold. But yeah, in the beginning, 20 years ago, there were still a lot of doubts about this quote, of course. Companies started with collecting data for reporting. They also did some predictions called business intelligence. But it was hard to select the right data with the quality needed to report the truth. Also, storage was quite difficult at that time and also very expensive. But when data storage became cheaper, and data warehouses became more structured. BI and reporting took a flight. And yeah, of course, also artificial intelligence took a flight too. Well, they started to accelerate at that moment, but you won't believe it, but it originated already in the first half of the 20th century. So quite a long time ago, they already had artificial intelligence. So that's yeah, amazing, I thought. Nowadays, of course, we have intelligent cars like oh, sorry, like this one. And Apple has a car and it can park itself, he can warn you, he can intervene, and sometimes he can already even drive itself without any help of the driver. So, well, that's quite amazing. We also have the smart roads. They really exist, and they give signs about the weather circumstances. For example, they warn you when the roads are frozen, or broken, or if they become too wet to drive. So yeah, we have a lot of intelligent things like cars. But what do you think about the Internet of Things? It is also developing very quickly at the moment. So at the moment there are really smart kitchens, and they communicate. There's communication between the fridge and the supermarket. So the supermarket knows where your fridge is almost out of stock from and will put it in your basket to deliver. But also the fridge and its factory are connected to monitor its conditions and to notice if or when it needs to get maintenance. Yeah, you also can have an app on your mobile which tells you your milk is almost due. And of course, your oven will also tell you that it needs to be cleaned too. Well, we have nowadays also communication between vehicles and its environments, like this picture shows. Yeah, and I can tell you much more about what we do related, of all based on data, of course. One thing I want to mention is also smart grid. It's very modern in the Netherlands, at least. They are really busy with it, but I think all over the world. But yeah, you see more and more organizations, factories, suppliers, builders, buildings, roads, street lighting, all are connected and share data and information automatically between and with each other, and help us to become more efficient, effective, but of course also to make our work and private life easier. Well, I even didn't mention the lots of development and innovation that happens now around things like robotics, self-learning systems, etc. But yeah, I can speak hours for this, but we have to go to our yeah, subject for today, and that's of course our training. But yeah, one thing is clear: more and more data-driven products and processes are popping up in our lives. The biggest companies like Google, Amazon, Alibaba, Uber, they're all based on data-driven strategy. So I think, or I believe, it's really their gold. It's becoming the key asset for companies. So when data is the common denominator today, or more specific, I think data and analytics is more and more the denominator. We come to the about, because yeah, how can you assure as a company quality in this world of data? Like the person right in the corner of the sheet. Yeah, how do you check if everything is all right? Well, in 2017, Rogier, Armando, and I had a meetup together where we wonder why data is becoming that important in strategy in many companies, but that there still wasn't such a test training with a focus on data and analytics. We couldn't find it in the Netherlands, not in England, not in the USA, even not in Asia or any other continent. So we saw an educational gap. we thought it's important to have such a training for a world of quality-driven people. This because testing in the data environment is really different and something else than testing websites or front-end applications or technical machines, mobile apps, you name it. So we thought, why do we not develop this training with focus on data analytics testing ourselves? That was the moment that this foundation training certified data and analytics tester came to life, or be short, CPAT. In 2018, we executed our first tryout. We developed further and trained many consultants in the Dutch world of data analytics. And to be honest, we gained a lot of great feedback from our students and training on the training's quality and its content. And they told us that they were very excited about this new certification. And also, most of them look forward to the sequel trainings, which will probably come, like practitioner training, practitioner, or the expert level, or maybe there will be a tool specialist training coming. So if you have interesting suggestions for the next, don't hesitate to give this feedback to one of us, or do it in the chat. Well, this year we wanted to secure this intellectual legacy and share it with the world. So we have taken the next step together with, of course, Brightest, of which Kyle will explain some more about later this webinar. And now we are presenting our intellectual legacy to you all. Well, CPAT is a training, and it provides you a basic understanding of data and analytics testing, but also about data and analytics in general. Second is it also enables you to apply tools and techniques about returning to your organization or clients, upon returning to your organization or client, sorry. You know the right tools and techniques to use in a data and analytics environment when you come back. And last but not least, it of course prepares you for the exam leading to the data and analytics tester foundation level certificate. Well, this is my short introduction of the background of CPAT and where it comes from. And of course, Rogier will take over now to tell more about the learning objectives and the content. So I will hand over to Rogier.
Let's see. Yes. What I'm going to tell you, because Jaap gave a brief introduction about what was the background of this course and why we choose to develop this course. And what you see indeed is in the market there's a lot of data collected, and that the testing of the data is basically we didn't find any information about that one, and that's why we developed this course. What I'm going to show you in this short talk that I'm going to give you is about what the objectives of the course are that we defined in advance, and it also gives you a complete overview of what's the content of the course and what you're going to learn during the course. I also want to tell you in advance that it's not a course that we're going to explain you the complete ISQB certified foundation level content, because we expect already that that the participants of this course already have that knowledge. So basically what we want is really focusing on the data analytics and the business intelligence part, and that will be a big part of the course will go over that subject. What you see here, the first objective that we have is give a brief understanding of what's business intelligence and data analytics environment and how to do performance testing in there. So what we're going to do, we're going to show you all the different aspects of the of a business intelligence and a data analytics part. Think of things like the data lake, a data mart, what's a data warehouse, understand how they are connected to each other, and see what's different than a traditional approach. And with a traditional approach, I mean a traditional testing approach is that we test an application or you test a series of applications in combination with each other. Or if you're talking about the technical automation, you're talking about products that you connect to each other. But in this case, we really want to show you, okay, what's a typical business intelligence environment? How does it look like? And what are the aspects that are important in that one? So that will be a topic that we're going to address in that one. We're going to give you an introduction about what are different skill sets that are required and the diversity of test roles and skills that you need in a DA environment, a DA data analytics. Why are we going to give you that information is what we see, and what we also found out when we do this in practice is that that if you are testing in a business intelligence or in a data analytics environment, different test skills are required. Basically not different test skills, but you need different skills, for example, SQL knowledge, SQL knowledge to develop queries, etc. That's important information that's that you don't learn in a basic testing course. But in this course, we will focus on what are the different aspects of the different roles. We also talk about a BI tester. In the market, we see that a lot of times a BI tester is asked as a role. But what is a BI tester? And that's we are going to introduce different roles and skills that we have in this course with the different skill sets on that one. So after this course, you know what to do with that one. We are going to give you insights and how you can apply different test techniques and how they can be practiced in a BI and data analytics environment. If you go to an ISQB foundation level course, for example, you will learn all kinds of techniques like equivalence partitioning or boundary value analysis or state transition diagram testing, etc. What we did is we looked at those techniques, but not only those techniques of the ISQB course, but also at other courses. And we selected some techniques that we thought were useful in a BI environment. And what we're also going to show you is which test techniques, because we really think that test techniques and the use of test techniques can help in all test projects. So also it can help you in a data analytics environment. And we're going to show you how these techniques can be used in different areas of the business intelligence environment. Armando will show you the business intelligence environment that we use in this course. And we're going to make a sort of list of which test techniques could be best applied in certain situations. We also understand that the business intelligence is a very, very big area. You have all kinds of aspects you can focus on. So we have a sort of general overview of which techniques are useful in which part of the BI environment, and that can be useful as a sort of backpack that you have with all kinds of a tool set that you can use and say, okay, that this tool is the best in my situation. We are not going to explain all the test techniques in detail. We expect a little bit already that people know about those test techniques, but if it's required and people want to know about the test technique, we can explain it during the course. But it's not the complete focus that we want to put on, because we really want to focus on which techniques are useful to do in a certain area. Also, what we want to address in the course is the different testing aspects of a BI and data analytics environment compared to traditional testing. So we introduce a sort of extra test types that we thought of, that we see that are different and specific for a BI and a data analytics environment. And then you have to think about, for example, OLAP, online analytical processing testing, transformation testing, and completeness testing. Transformation is that the data is transferred from system A to system B. Most of the time it's also called ETL testing. So we're going to show you what it is, how you can test it, and what are aspects that are useful. But also completeness, is the data transferred from A to B complete? Is it unique? Is it concise? All kinds of quality aspects are important to use in this environment that are different than traditional approaches. And so we are focusing, it doesn't mean that the traditional approach and test techniques or test types are not helpful. They are still helpful because we still have to, for example, do an integration test, an end-to-end test, or a chain test on a BI environment too. But we are focusing on the specific aspects of the BI environment in this one. Another one is understand the difference between quality attributes for system requirements and specific quality attributes applied to data environments. What you see in the most common test courses is that we focus on quality attributes like ISO 25010. And in this course, we think those system requirements are still useful and helpful to be used, but we also want to introduce some specific quality attributes that are applied to the data environments. And we're going to use the DAMA for this one. That's a specific quality attribute that tells you something about data quality. So we introduce those quality sets because we see that the system requirements are not completely enough in a BI environment. One aspect that we from the ITQB foundation course that we still want to apply in and use in a data analytics environment in this course is that we're going to do a risk analysis because we think a risk analysis also, as in the CTFL course, is still a very good tool that can be helpful to find out which aspects of the system I should test more and which aspects of the system I should test less. That's the reason why we added an extra exercise with risk analysis, especially applied in a BA and data analytics environment. So what we're going to do, we're going to show you a sort of case. We created a case description of a company, a specific company with data intelligence and the data warehouse aspects in it, and we're going to execute a risk analysis on that one. And it's useful to see the combined quality attributes that are being used in a traditional environment, including quality attributes in a data analytics environment, the DAMA, for example, and how they are going to be combined in a risk analysis session, so you know where I'm going to focus my testing on. Another thing is that I already a little bit explained it about the data quality, the complexity of data and the importance of the use of in data analytics. Data analytics is a little specific subject because also there are different types of data analytics, data mining, etc. And we're going to explain in the course what it is. We're not going to really learn you how to do data analytics, but it's useful to know information about it because it's a very important aspect of the whole BI environment and how does it work and what is data analytics and how you can use it and also what kinds of tests can you do on such environments. So we're going to address that also in the course. And the last one, we have knowledge about complexity of DTAP environments, development, test, acceptance and production environments in a data analytics landscape, including data protection regulations. And what we want to do here is what you see in a traditional project, what we saw also in traditional projects is that that a test environment setup is quite quite simple in most times. It's a standard application connected to some other interfaces. It's not simple, but we see in the data analytics you have multiple dimensions of test environments. You have the test environments of the sources that you get information out. You have test environments of the development of the data warehouse itself. You have test environments of the ecosystem, like which platforms it should run on, all kinds of different environments that have to be in sync with each other, especially when you use a data warehouse environment and you want to see the difference between two sources. It can be useful to find out, okay, are we capturing the correct information in the right time on the same environment, etc. Is the data in sync with each other? So there's extra complexity in testing integrated systems in a BI environment. So we really thought of, okay, on top of the normal traditional way of DTAP environments, we also going to explain the complexity that you have in a BI environment, and also the complexity with data protection regulations, because in Europe we have a lot of there's a special law introduced about the use of personal data in test environments, and that information, how do you handle with that one, and how do you handle with that law in your test environment? Because if I'm going to scramble data and do depersonification of data, etc., in a data analytics landscape, how am I doing that on multiple systems? So we're going to explain you information about that one. Based on this one, on all these objectives, we defined interest areas. Basically, we defined 6 interest areas in the, and also the syllabus is created that we developed, and I think the end of July, beginning of August, it will be published. There are six chapters in there. The first will focus on the introduction to business intelligence and data analytics. And here under this line, you see all kinds of BI, data warehouse, data mart, data lake, data analytics, big data, OLTP versus OLAP. Maybe the terms doesn't say you anything yet, but these are all aspects that are in a business intelligence environment. And those we're going to explain the difference between it. What is it? How is it located? What's it in your company? So you have a big introduction about the whole landscape. How do you capture information? The second chapter, we're going to focus on data analytics test strategy. We're going to talk about different software development life cycles. We still see that, for example, if you are in an agile environment, how do you manage your project, or when are you in a waterfall or in a V model environment? How does it work? But also the risk-based testing is part of this chapter, and the test skills that are the roles and responsibilities of everybody. Test techniques applied, the third chapter. Here are some examples of test techniques that we applied, but they are more in the syllabus and also more introduced in the course. This is equivalence partitioning, boundary value analysis, decision table testing, and data combination testing. And we're going to apply those techniques, but we're not going to apply it with the standard test or with the standard application. We're going to apply it in a real BI environment, so you really can see, okay, how does this technique work in a BI environment, and what are specific aspects, and which techniques are useful for which parts of the BI landscape itself. The fourth interest area that we created is the BI testing part. There are test types in there, like reports testing, OLAP testing, data model testing, mining, what is it, completeness and transformation. And we defined and going to give you all kinds of tools that you can use to how to do all those kinds of different tests, because all these test types that are located here, reports testing, requires a different approach on how you do it, because reports testing is a little bit different than completeness testing or transformation testing. So we're going to explain all kinds of information about that one that you can use. Then the fifth chapter, we're going to focus on data quality in the ISO 25010, but that's, I think there are not only the ISO 25010, but we're also going to introduce all other data quality characteristic standardization documents that exist in the world, but we are specifically introducing DAMA, and DAMA focuses on the data quality. We're going to explain what the DAMA is and how you can use it in this your test strategy that you want to use in your test project. And the last one, that's the environmental needs. We call it at this moment still the multidimensional test environment, but we are still looking into it if this is the best name. So there's still some work to do. But in the environmental needs, we are going to describe the different test environments you have in a BI environment, and what the different aspects are, and what are special things you have to take into account when you are setting up test environments for your test project. Basically, that's the information I want to give you about the content of the course. What also can be useful is to find out for whom is this an interesting course. So we have sort of defined sort of target audience and prerequisites for the course. Of course, we want that everybody that is interested in something with BI would attend this course, but I think there's a specific group that we focus on. Of course, that's the test professionals in the field of data analytics, people that are test professionals that now are working in environments with data warehouses or with source data or with reports or whatever. In the complete BI environment, they can, then this is a useful course to follow. But also, of course, test coordinators and managers are useful people to attend this course, because we think knowledge of the environment still can be useful also for test coordinators and managers on how to set up a project, because it's a little bit different than a traditional approach. Developers and analysts, of course, but what we also specifically saw in the Netherlands is when we are planning these courses, that BI consultants and engineers were attending this course. And that's also the reason why we kept the test techniques still as an important part of this course, because we saw that BI consultants and engineers are very interested in how to do testing, and they all the techniques that we show to them, they said, well, this is great, we want to use these techniques because we didn't know them before. So we see that BI consultants and engineers are still very, this course, it can be a very helpful course for them too, to attend. They also can, what we saw most of the course we gave, we had a sort of combination of testers and BI consultants in the room. And what you also saw is that the combination of the two participants in the course gave a very nice, cool, nice, how do you call it, structure in the course, that that the BI consultants can tell a lot about the BI environment and the complexities in there. The testers can tell a lot about testing, and they helped each other to find out the best way how to approach it. So I put the BI consultants and the engineers on this sheet, but because I still think that they also can find a lot of information that can be helpful with this one. Of course, the focus will be on the test professionals in the field of data analytics. That's also why we say that ICQB CTFL or an equivalent of those, one of those courses can be helpful to do before you're going to start to do this course. It's recommended. We doesn't say you have to follow it, because we capture the stuff of that's necessary to have during the course. So if you're going to introduce a test technique and the participant doesn't know how the test technique works, we will explain the test technique. So if you don't know it exactly anymore, and I can imagine, because not everybody is following every year the course, so it still can be helpful to tell something about those test techniques. So that's why we still advise to have a little bit of experience. It's recommended, but it's not essential to follow this course. And that's what I wanted to tell about the content of the course. And I'm now going to change the presenter to Armando, and Armando will explain more about the BI process itself. We created a model for that one, and Armando is going to show you that model.
Hi everyone, thank you very much for attending. My name is Armando Dorsek, and I will, just like Rogier said, show you the illustration that we made to explain a lot of the things that Rogier talked about. Here you can find a typical BI or data analytics environment. This drawing is something that we use throughout the course to explain all the techniques that we try to teach and all the things that we cover. Just like Rogier explained, that there's a lot to cover. And now, how to apply all of this to the data analytics landscape? Well, as always, illustration will help out. First of all, if we take a look at the right-hand side, we try to focus on the quality of the end-user products. That is all the BI products like dashboards and reports, but also the analytics environments that are used by data scientists, for instance, or even exports that are handed over to external companies. Well, that are all products that that's for the business it's all about. They don't really care about all the things that we have to do in order to create these products, but so these are the customer facing products in general. What we see that there are a lot of techniques available which we perhaps already know from other domains that we can reuse to test these products, test reports, and etc. One thing that we try to do in the training and that we will do in the training is hand over checklists and provide techniques and do some hands-on testing of reports and dashboards. Then you can see the semantic layer, that is the translation of the data that is in, for instance, in data marts to the business. What we next do is we look at all the things that are needed to get this data, to acquire data from external systems. Well, I say external systems, these can be in our company, but they can also be in the cloud. They can be Twitter feeds or Facebook entries, but also traditional databases somewhere in the on-premise or somewhere else. What we saw is that there are a lot of things that can go wrong when acquiring this data. Some of them are technical, like using wrong code pages for character translation. But a lot of things are going wrong because the wrong translation is made from a business perspective. People don't use the same words or use the same words for different things, or use different words for the same thing. So that is something that can go wrong. What we see is that you have products like the that you have products that help us out, like specifications. So we know after this course you'll know better to focus on that part that is helping with covering these specifications and translating them into test cases. So once you know that you are doing the translation in a proper way from the authentic sources into a staging area of your data warehouse, or taking up right data into your data lake, you can create better test cases. One of the major parts in a traditional data warehouse environment is the ETL process, which is the extraction, transformation, and loading of data. Things that you learn is one thing you will learn is about the timing, what needs to be loaded first, what needs to be loaded last, etc., and what can go wrong if you're doing it the wrong way. So you can create better test cases. One thing in a data warehouse is that they are adding history to data. That is something that is in the course. And one other thing is that data from the data warehouse is often extracted to data marts, which is something you will learn again too in the data and analytics training. One more thing. Once you have learned how to make better test cases for each and every aspect of your data analytics environment, then you'll know how to do it. But as Rogier explained, it's important that you make right decisions on how much energy to put into what part of your analytics data analytics landscape. Excuse me. So first of all, how do risks translate into test design techniques? How does it measure the quality of your entire system? And that is just the technical aspect. If we look at the data quality, that is something you will learn how to hands-on test data quality. Well, Rogier told a lot of things already, so I think that will be sufficient for now. But perhaps questions will arise and I will be happy to answer those. So I'll hand over the stick to Kyle.
Hello, everyone. I don't know if everyone can hear me. It's going well. Thank you so much for joining today's webinar and taking the time out of your schedule, spending your afternoon with us today if you're in India, or your lunch almost here in Europe. My name is Kyle Siemens, and I'm the CEO and owner of Brightest here in Berlin, Germany. So as mentioned before, I'm originally from Canada. And yeah, I'll tell you a little bit about Brightest and what we do and how we collaborate. We're able to start the presentation from our side as well. We work closely with various local representatives and, for example, ISTQB boards around the world. In this case, many of you might know the Indian Testing Board, who is a strong partner of us, and I believe some of them are on the call today. We are internationally recognized for offering certifications in the area of ISTQB, IFPUG, which is the International Function Point Users Group, ISAQB, which we are now offering as well in the area of software architecture, and the Uniteds. I will get more into the Uniteds because there's a lot hidden behind that quick little word, but for example, the Data and Analytics United. So if you want to check about our portfolio, because I'm not going to spend too much of your time, so you can enjoy your lunch or your afternoon, depending where you are, but I'll get to that very soon. So just a very quick announcement, since it was mentioned that the ISTQB foundation level, this one, I'm not going to go through the whole portfolio. There's a big one and it's ever growing. But for the foundation level at the bottom, this is one that we consider, at least the knowledge for this is considered to be a prerequisite to the course. You don't have to have it, but we recommend you at least read the syllabus and familiarize yourself with all the terms, because this is not a course that will teach you about software testing. It will teach you about the testing in association with data and analytics, as mentioned by the creators. But I just wanted to bring it to your attention that we're talking here about the foundation level amount of knowledge would be a great benefit to have before taking the course. The advantage of getting certified through Brightest. So we are recognized by the IT industry throughout the world. So we've been around for 3 years now. In the first years, we focused a lot on our partners in Spain and Central South America. Now we're growing a lot also with our partners in the Indian Testing Board in India and throughout Europe with different ones. As we can see, I might have noticed from the accent. So we have a few people on the call today. Our experts are from the Netherlands. So we have quite a few different people we're working with as well throughout Europe and also into North America, Asia, and starting also in Africa. So it's quite an exciting one. Everyone who takes an ISTQB exam with us, of course, has the chance to be on the successful candidate registry, which is important to know if you pass your exam and are successful. And yes, everyone that takes an exam with us and is successful also receives, with no extra charge, a free badge from Acclaim Credly, which is the global leader in digital badging. And I can provide you with more information if you have any questions about that. It's also on our website. So now we get to the Uniteds. You can see a bunch of logos at the bottom of the screen. Basically, over the last few years, we've realized we have a lot of people requesting for practical certifications. There are many certifications out there in the areas of software testing, and of course, as a big supporter of the ISTQB, it's wonderful. They focus a lot on the theory, which is great. It sets a standard for the entire world. But now we also have not only theory, but people wanted to have courses that would go for 2-3 days and deal with a subject that they could actually have some hands-on experience. So we realized that we would be coming up with something new and to accompany basically mainly the ISTQB portfolio, which already exists. And the first ones we started off with actually already over 2 years ago now is the Selenium United, which was launched and offered in a various amount of different languages offered by people around the world. Then we started with AI United, Agile United, Performance Testing United, DevOps United, and there are a few others that aren't on there yet. Of course, today we're focusing on the Data and Analytics United. We do also have one that fits into this category. It's a bit funny because the name is different, for Design Sprint Alliance. This one is focusing on how to run a design sprint, and you learn that in 2 days. I know it sounds funny because a design sprint is usually 4 to 5 days, depending on who you're talking to, who might have very different opinions. But in this case, we're running a design sprint on a topic that you might not be so invested in, both emotionally and financially. So you are able to take it a little bit more lighthearted, and you're going to be able to go through the topics and focus on how to actually run a design sprint instead of focusing on how are we going to get these results out. So you do go through a design sprint, in this case in 2 days, but it's an interesting way to figure things out and learn how to do the proper ones in 4 to 5. So, oh, I just skipped past the slide. So, and we do collaborate with Pearson VUE, who is the market leader for electronic examinations. So all of our exams, which we currently offer, are available, of course, paper-based if ever needed, but we also are aiming a lot from the electric side of things, especially now when we're looking at how it's going with the current situation the world finds itself in. But also to say papers. So we do have group exams, for example. We call these here in the middle. You can see a little tree growing on there on the screen. So this is why I call the Brightest green exams, because it's basically for groups, and you can register with us to wherever you want in the world. So you'd like to do a group exam, and we can administer it directly in your offices. If you're in your offices, I know currently it's a different situation, but this is under normal circumstances. Or the main ones at the moment, some people are still going to test centers, which is the bottom one. We call them Brightest Center exams. Or on the top of the 3, there's a little camera, and this is our Brightest private exams. You can do the exams in your own home. So there's no price difference between the different modalities for us. We've kept it very straightforward. So if you have any questions about that and what it costs in your area, just let us know. The information will follow in the next slide. But basically, there are 5,200 test centers across the world. So there should be one relatively close to you. And if not, we have them anywhere in the world with the online proctored exams. So just it's already a little out of date because we have new partners all the time, but how can you prepare for your exam? We have a lot of different training providers around the world. So you can see here on the side, there's a lot of logos. These are the training providers we work with around the world that offer. You can notice here, there's also Verity Software, one of our partners here today that we're doing this webinar with. And so they're listed on our website, and we call them TPPs, or training provider partners. And so these ones can support you with any training requirements you might need for the different exam or trainings that they offer to prepare for our examinations. And you can see which ones offer which courses in which languages, in which parts of the world, sometimes online, sometimes live, and you can figure that all out on our website with a search tool. So, and basically that's pretty much it from my side. We are a global certification body consisting of 4 people here in Berlin, Germany. And we're happy to collaborate with you. If you have any questions, never hesitate to write out to us at info@brightest.org. You can also write to me directly. My email is kyle@brightest.org, so KYLE. And yeah, this is our team, and we look forward to hearing from you. And now we want to see, does anyone have any questions? I have received some private message questions, but if you do have questions from what's been presented, please never hesitate to let us know.
Yeah, Kyle, hi, Prasanna here. Yeah, so I think there is one question from Ms. Priyanka. She's asking, is there any exam for data and analytics?
Yes, so that one I can take. So there is an exam that is, the way it's constructed is similar to ISTQB, as you might know, foundation level, so there are 40 questions. You need 65% to pass, and it's multiple choice. It's not yet available as we're still finalizing the syllabus, which, as was mentioned, I believe by Rogier, will be by the end of this month. After that, we will, by the end of August, we will be able to launch the exam. Everything else will be available, and the first trainings will actually officially start. All right, and then I do have a couple other questions, but I'm going to aim these more at the creators. So we have Jaap, Rogier, Armando. So we have one here from the standpoint of a manager. It says, I'm a test manager. Would you say that this training is meant only for hands-on testing colleagues or also for managers? I don't know who wants to take that one. I'll leave it open to the creators.
Shall I try to answer this one, Kyle? Armando here.
Sure.
What you and Rogier already told is that it's not only hands-on testing that we are trying to learn, but we are also trying to communicate what to do in what time, and how much energy how much effort you put into which part of the domain. So I think it's very important for test managers and test coordinators to join, because that will give better insight in how much energy to put in what parts of the testing.
Perfect.
I hope that is sufficient.
And we just got information also that was posted by Verity Software, their training dates. So their next training, or their first training in India, will be on the 12th and 13th of September. The registration link is now on there as well. So if you want to register for that one, it's there. We did get another question from Priyanka. And the question was, I am into ETL testing. Can you suggest any other certifications that might be interesting for me? Or maybe potentially are there other certifications coming or planned?
I could take up this one as well, but I know for sure that Rogier and Jaap could do too. Well, at this moment, there is not yet an advanced training available because advanced trainings are being created as we speak. For instance, ETL testing is one of the parts that we want to cover, as well as reports testing. That will be the next one. And also what we see is that there is much interest in test automation. So I think that this one is definitely on our backlog of creating for advanced level testing. Absolutely.
Yeah, currently we cover in the course a little part of the ETL, and yeah, one on the list is indeed the ETL testing advanced level, same as the reports. Yeah.
That's good that you mentioned that, Rogier, because there's already ETL testing in this course. But if you are an ETL specialist, you might want to know more about it, and then an advanced level training would be interesting. Yes. Thanks for making that clear, Rogier.
We do have another question from Monica, who's asking if there are more dates than the 12th and 13th of September. I think maybe Rogier might have an answer for that, for online training.
Yeah, we scheduled now on I think the 2nd and the 3rd September, out of my head. We scheduled hybrid course. So then Armando and I are going to give the course in the Netherlands, but you can attend the course via an online connection. So we give it online, so you can just follow the course online, and then you get that one. So it's a hybrid course, so people can really come to the course, or you can apply for the online course. I think the link is already on the website of Brightest. So if you want to know what to apply for that course, just write it down, apply for the course, and say that you want to follow it online. The challenge only is that we are in the Netherlands, so we have a little bit of time difference. But we will find out how we're going to solve that one. That's it.
So I received another question in reference to tools as well. And so do I need any specific tools like Power BI or Informatica? I don't know who would like to take this one.
I can take up this one because I see. No, we are not focusing on specific tools in this course. We are going to use a tool in the course, but that's an open source tool that we're going to show you. But we're not going to focus specifically on specific tools. Of course, we know information about it. So if there's a question about the tool itself, then we can give that. But we don't know every tool, so that's the challenge we have. Yeah.
Great. We have another one also from Santosh. Are you going to teach data and analytics courses also like ML, machine learning? And I have something I could also say about this one as well.
Take it up, Kyle, because we don't take machine learning in the course itself.
Yeah.
At this moment.
I mean, we do have, there's another certification which is also offered by Verity Software. That's the Artificial Intelligence United Certified Tester in AI. And I have actually heard from some partners and from the review committee members from Data and Analytics United, they see this course as an excellent start to people who want to get more involved into machine learning. And the reason for that is to make sure that they have high quality data before they even start with the artificial intelligence machine learning. So there could be something also there to discuss with Verity Software about potentially having both courses, one following the other, in a week perhaps, and seeing what can be made of that. Just an idea out there. So I don't know if anyone wants to add anything to that. Otherwise, I can go to the next question I have.
Well, I want something to add, because I already mentioned that when people have very interesting subjects for another training, please let us know, because we will accomplish, of course, other trainings. I also have a meeting soon with somebody who has developed a verification and validation training in the data analytics environment. So yeah, probably that will also be another course, of course. So the curriculum will be going, to extend.
Extended.
And then we have a very open question also from Santosh. How is the job market for data analytics testing area? I'm assuming in India or in general. I don't know if our creators want to talk about this, particularly in the Netherlands or Europe, or if someone would like to jump in about India, if they have an idea as well.
Yeah, of course we know it's from the Netherlands. So we know how the job market is in the Netherlands, and the Netherlands is a little bit similar as Germany, so we in Belgium. But how it is in India, I cannot say anything about that one. We see that that there's a lot of there's a select group of testers available for BI, because it's a really specific area. So and you see, because of the more data is becoming more important in the market itself, and that companies are using that data to drive the strategy of their company and to make the business decisions. We see that the market is increasing a lot. So I expect that it's a future-proof company, a future-proof job that you can select. But I'm not sure how it is in India. I expect it will be similar, because the capturing of data in India and China and all those all the areas there is a huge amount of people, much more than in the Netherlands. So I can expect that more data is collected than we do in the Netherlands at this time.
Yeah. Perhaps Jaap can tell you something about the salary, but that's for the European market then.
Yes, please tell us all your salaries. No.
I don't think we can say something about the salary, because it's quite different of each area. So it doesn't. Yeah, I don't know.
Well, I can only tell you something about the Dutch market, because I see that the salary for testers in general is about 70 to 90 euros for each hour. And if you have any specialization, be it data analytics or be it some other kind of specialization, that makes that your salary can go up considerably. So I think that it's very normal in the Netherlands to get about 80 to 100 euros, but that's just in the Netherlands, so I cannot make a comparison.
Armando, then you're talking about a freelance, of course.
Yes.
And not salary when you are an employee of a company.
No.
But it depends. I think per area, but in the Netherlands, the salary is around 3K to 7K a month. And when you become more a specialist, maybe more. And yeah, also the secondary is of course in your salary.
Yeah, but Jaap, I realized that I was talking about the hourly pay, but it's important for software testing companies to know that they can ask more for their employees if they are put into work at the customer side. So that's important as well.
Yeah.
But of course, once again, I cannot say anything about the Indian market or the Chinese market or South American market. I just don't know.
Perfect. Then we got another question, and actually two questions, which I'm going to try and combine. Please tell me, Raksha, if I'm missing something. How does the training cover test automation? I do learn how to automate my. Do I learn how to automate my tests for data warehouses and anything on ETL? I believe we touched this already, but more on direction of test automation in association with data analytics and data warehouses.
Rogier, will you take up this one?
Oh yeah, I can do. Yeah, ETL on automation. We don't automate. We don't teach you about automation in this course. We're gonna explain about the ETL itself, of course. What's ETL and how you can use some tools in that process and what are useful tools. But we don't use a specific automation tool, or we're not going to automate during this course. What we're going to do is it's one of those extensions too that we have on our list for future advanced courses. But if we're going to put automation tool in this course, and I know it's useful, then we had to extend the course a couple of days. And at this point, we think the information is enough that we put in there. We do show you information about the different tool sets, the tools that exist in a specific BI environment. Same thing as the CTFL and the CTAL courses do, the Agile Tester courses do, is they're going to show you the tool sets that are specific in the specific area of Agile testing. Now we do the same here. We're going to show you the specific tools that are available in a BI environment, but we don't do anything with automation yet. Yes. That's the answer on that one.
And we did have a question about course fees and certification fee, but here we also have the post from Prasanna to also check the website for that, because it will be very dependent on where it is, who's running it, and so on. So that would be important. Just check the website for more information on that, or send it if you want to know about the certification fees in your country. Please just send us an email to info@brightest.org, and we'll be able to let you know. Keeping in mind, it will first be available towards the end of August to take this exam, but we do have other exams are already online. I have one more question here in the area of data migration. So I'm about to enter a project which is not so much about data warehousing and analytics, but more data migration. What do you think would this training be useful?
I would like to pick up this one. Just as Rogier and I explained earlier, if you take a look at the data analytics landscape, on the left-hand side, you see all kinds of sources that need to be extracted. And this is exactly the part where this course overlaps with data migrations, because in data migrations, you want to know that the data is taken over in a complete and correct fashion. So it's very useful there. I absolutely think that you can use this training to improve your data migration project.
Yes, great. I think we have those are all the questions we currently have. If there are any more questions from the audience, otherwise we have a few more quick notes from Verity Software.
Kyle, Prasanna here. So I think we missed one question. It's from Aishwarya. She just asked the organizers, I guess, by mistake. So the question is there anything specific to test data management in the certification on data analytics?
Test data management. Okay. Well, we cover the landscape, and we also cover the DTAP environment, the development, test, acceptance, and production environment. And we also cover a part of the test data generation. But we do not actually generate data in our course itself, but we discuss where to generate data, where to use the production data, also keeping in mind that there are regulations and laws applicable. So that's covered in this way. I hope that is that's answering her question.
Great. Any other questions out there or clarifications that may have gone to particular people? No? All right. Then I don't know if I have to pass on the presentation rights or if they get taken from me by.
Yes. So I think with that, we will end today's webinar. I would like to thank all the gentlemen for coming in and giving a wonderful session and explaining to all the audience about the data and analytics course which they have launched for the testers. Thank you, gentlemen. So before we leave, I would just like to show the participants a slide with the details of the course on when we are planning to run the course in online, so that people interested can register and join in. So we have the first batch of this training on the data analytics certified data analytics tester is in the month of September, and it's on the 12th and 13th of September. It will be online. So I have already dropped the registration link and the website in the chat section. If you can just scroll up and find it there if you want more details. And or you can always get in touch with us. You can get in touch with either me or my colleagues Gokul or Pinky. So once again, thank you everyone for taking out time and attending this webinar. We certainly hope that it was really helpful for you all. And a big thank you to Jaap, Armando, Rogier, and Kyle for the wonderful presentation. Hope you all have a great weekend. Stay safe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you all.
Definitely keep safe. Have a wonderful weekend.